Hello weekend warriors. Today we're doing a really simple pork loin, just salt and pepper. This is great if you're just starting out or you've been doing barbecue for a long time. Salt and pepper is kind of the foundation of any kind of rub you're going to use. And I also find with a pellet smoker, it's really going to allow you to taste the smoke, which is what we're after, right? So let's get started and take a look at this pork roast. All right, so to start out, guys, I'm just using some coarse kosher salt and some pre-ground black pepper. You could grind your own up if you want to. If you wanted to add a little something to it, I'm not going to do it today, but this is garlic powder. You could add a little bit of that in there. You could also add in maybe a little bit of brown sugar, but like I said, today we're just doing salt and pepper. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my gloves on and we'll season this guy up. I'm gonna start with the pepper. Gonna get a nice coating of this. This is going to help with the bark, obviously the flavor as well, but we want to get it nice and coated here. I like a little bit more pepper than most people, I think, so do it to your own taste. And then you'll notice all this fat cap here. I'm leaving this on. We're going to point this down towards our heat source at the bottom. It's going to kind of shield some of the meat from the heat, and it should render down pretty nice. And by the way, this is about a 5-pound center cut pork loin. So just keep seasoning up. And now for the salt. This is that coarse grind. We're gonna go, it might seem a little heavy, but giant piece of meat. And when you cut little thin slices, it's not going to be too bad, overwhelming. Just get it nice and coated. All right, so the pork loin is seasoned up. I have the Pit Boss filled up with some hickory pellets. A fruit wood would go great in here, or the competition blend. And I've got our temperature set to 275 degrees. It's a little bit colder outside today. And so what I'm expecting the temperature to be is about 250 in the center, and it'll fluctuate around. But let's go ahead and get this in the smoker. Alrighty, get this guy open. I'm going right about the center rack. I put it right next to this latch so you guys can see where I'm at. And like I said, we're gonna go fat cap down. Put that right in there. And then I've got my meat probe, which I'm gonna put right about here in the thickest part of the center. Push that in. And what we wanna do is cook this to about 145 degrees Fahrenheit. And it may take 2 hours, it could take 3 hours, we're not sure. But we'll come back in about an hour to show you how it's looking. All right, it's been about an hour. And this is showing at 133 degrees, which seems a little high too fast. So I'm gonna move that probe to a different part and see if it's still the same temperature. All right, so now you can see we're down at 75 degrees. I put it over in the end. And so what happened, I think, when I went in right here is I just put it into a big piece of fat. So 77 degrees Fahrenheit after 1 hour. Let's get this door closed. And we'll come back in about another hour, or when it's about 145 internal. I'm glad that happened. You kind of got to use your instincts. If you know it's supposed to take at least 2 hours and you're trying to get to 145 degrees, that 130 degree temperature was suspicious. So I'm glad I checked. Glad you got to see it. So we'll be back. All right, we're coming up on hour number 2. We are at 127 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's get this door open real quick and see how it looks. Beautiful. All that salt and pepper is set now. Very nice, very nice. Got my water pan down there. If I'm lucky, this will burn up right before this is done cooking, then I won't have anything to dump out. So I'm always happy when that happens. Now, one thing I didn't talk about is you'll see I've got this foil up top here. That's actually because in this colder weather, the condensation from the chimney is a lot more than normal. And so I'm getting a drip that comes down. So this foil catches the drip and keeps it off of the meat, just in case you were wondering. So we'll come back when it's ready to cut it up. The smoked pork loin is done. We had it in the smoke for about 2.5 hours. It hit 145 degrees. We've had it resting for about 10 minutes. Let's cut into it. All right, let's make a few slices here. Just salt, pepper, and smoke. Wow. Do you guys see all that? Look at the juice. Nice smoke ring. Cut a couple slices to try here. All right, I think that piece is mine. Get a bite. Wow, is that good? Very simple, just salt and pepper. So it's got good flavor that lets you still taste the meat, and you can taste the smoke. Hey, if you guys like this video, check out one of those two right there, and I'll see you over there.